My fiancée texted, "Keep the ring. I'm not wearing something so cheap." I replied, "Understood." Then I returned it, got the $12,000 refund, and sent her a screenshot of my new motorcycle purchase. Her mother called me hysterical about family heirloom expectations. I, 32 male, proposed to my girlfriend of 4 years last Saturday. We'd talked about marriage plenty over the years. She knew it was coming eventually. I thought we were on the same page about everything: timeline, values, the future, what kind of life we wanted. Turns out I was wrong about a lot of things. Maybe everything. Quick context: I'm an electrician. Union card, journeyman certified. I do well for myself. Cleared about $87,000 last year with overtime. Not wealthy by any stretch, but comfortable. I own my truck outright, rent a decent apartment, have solid benefits. And I've been saving specifically for an engagement ring for the past 18 months. I wanted to do this right. I spent $12,400 on that ring. Princess cut diamond, 1.2 carats, excellent clarity, platinum band. I did research. Went to 4 different jewelers over 3 months. Asked questions. Learned about the 4 C's. Picked something classic and beautiful that I thought she'd love based on what she'd pointed out in magazines and store windows over the years. The jeweler told me it was an excellent choice for the budget. I was proud of it. The proposal itself went fine. Great, even. Nice dinner at a restaurant she'd been wanting to try for months. Got down on one knee between dessert and coffee. She said yes. Happy tears. The whole table next to us clapped. She posted the ring on Instagram within 20 minutes with a caption about forever starting now. I thought everything was perfect. Then Monday happened. I was at work, just finished pulling wire through a drop ceiling in a commercial build when my phone buzzed. Her message: "We need to talk about the ring." I figured maybe she wanted to get it resized or something. Didn't think much of it. Called her on my lunch break while sitting in my truck eating a cold sandwich. That's when things went sideways fast. I showed it to my mom and my sister this morning, she said, and something in her voice already sounded off. And honestly, I'm embarrassed. Embarrassed about what? The ring. It's small. You have to understand, my sister's husband got her a 2-carat princess cut. My cousin has an emerald cut that's almost 2.5. My mom said when Dad proposed, he spent 3 months' salary. This ring looks like something from a mall kiosk. Like a placeholder. I sat there in my truck, lunch getting cold in my lap, trying to process what I was hearing. I spent over $12,000 on that ring. Then you got ripped off. Or the jeweler saw you coming. Or you just have bad taste. I don't know. Either way, I can't wear this in front of my family. My cousin's getting married next month, and the whole extended family will be there. I'm not showing up with this on my finger while everyone else has actual engagement rings. I didn't say anything for probably 15 seconds. Couldn't think of what to say. "Look," she continued, filling the silence, "it's not a big deal. My mom knows a guy who does custom jewelry. Estate pieces. Real quality stuff, not chain store garbage. We should return this one and put the money towards something better. I'll cover the difference if we need to go higher. We can make this work. You want me to return the ring I proposed to you with? The ring you said yes to. The ring you posted on Instagram 2 days ago. I want us to have something I'm not ashamed of. Is that really so wrong? I have to wear this thing for the rest of my life. Shouldn't I love it?" I told her I needed to think about it, and hung up. Spent the rest of my shift barely able to focus on the job. One of my coworkers asked if I was okay, and I couldn't even answer him. When I got home that evening, she wasn't there. Apparently she was at her mother's house discussing options and looking at settings. That night, around 9 p.m., she sent me the text that ended everything. "Keep the ring. I'm not wearing something so cheap. It says everything about how you see me and our future. When you're ready to be serious about us, when you're ready to actually show me you value me enough to do this right, we can talk. But I'm not walking around with a constant reminder that my fiancé couldn't be bothered to do the bare minimum." I read it 3 times. Let it sink in. Then I replied with one word: "Understood." The next morning, I took the ring back to the jeweler. Explained the situation in about 2 sentences. He looked genuinely sympathetic. Said he sees this more than people realize, that some people forget what an engagement is actually supposed to represent. Full refund, $12,400 back in my account within 2 business days. No hassle, No judgment. Here's where I probably went off script. I want a motorcycle since I was 19 years old, specifically a Harley-Davidson Street Glide. So I wanted a bike show with my dad when I was a teenager and never forgot it. Never bought one because there was always something else, saving for the apartment deposit, then building an emergency fund, then her car needed transmission work, then saving for the ring. Always later. Always next year. Always waiting. Not anymore. I found a used 2021 Street Glide in excellent condition at a dealership about an hour away. Matte black paint. 8,000 miles. Well maintained. Dealer was asking $18,500. I talked him down to $16,200 after an hour of negotiation. Put the ring refund toward it as a down payment. Financed the remaining $3,800 over 2 years. Rode it home that same afternoon. The whole drive back, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Hard to describe. Freedom, maybe, or relief, or both. And yeah, I'll admit it. I took a photo of the bike in my parking spot, screenshot of the purchase receipt, clearly showing $12,400 as the down payment, and sent both to my now ex-fiancée with the caption, "Thanks for the push. Always wanted one of these." She didn't respond for 6 hours. Then my phone exploded. Her mother called me 17 times between 6 p.m. and midnight. 17. Left voicemails ranging from, "How dare you do this to her," to "You've humiliated this entire family," to threats about making sure everyone knows what kind of person you really are. Apparently, there was some expectation that the ring I bought, the one her daughter rejected, would eventually become a family treasure. Something to display. Something to pass down to daughters and granddaughters. Her mother had been telling relatives and friends about the engagement for days, and now had to explain why there was suddenly no ring and no wedding. My ex finally texted around midnight. "You're actually insane. You bought a motorcycle? With MY ring money. I can't believe I wasted 4 years on someone this selfish and petty." I responded, "It was never your ring. You made that very clear when you called it cheap and embarrassing and refused to wear it. I just reallocated the investment." She called me emotionally abusive, financially manipulative, and vindictive. Said I was punishing her for having standards and trying to humiliate her. I stopped responding after that. Nothing left to say. It's been 5 days. I've gotten texts from her sister calling me petty and cruel and suggesting I need therapy for whatever is broken inside you. Her father sent me one message that just said disappointed. "In you, son. Thought you were better than this." That one actually stung. I genuinely liked her dad. He's a quiet guy, salt of the earth type, and I respected him. But here's the thing. I'm not sorry. For years together. 4 years of holidays and family dinners and talking about our future. And she looked at something I saved for, researched for months, carefully chose with love, and told me it embarrassed her. In front of her mother. Then demanded I return it, and buy something that would meet her family's approval. That's not partnership. That's an audition I didn't know I was taking. So now I have a motorcycle I've wanted for 13 years and no fiancé. Some people would call that a loss. I'm starting to think it might be the best trade I ever made. Update 1, Day 8. All right, things have escalated significantly, and I need somewhere to vent because my buddies are tired of hearing about it, and I'm tired of thinking about it, but can't seem to stop. First, thanks everyone for the support on the original post. Genuinely helped to know I wasn't crazy. Some people asked if maybe I was being too harsh, if maybe I should have had a longer conversation, try to work things out. I thought about that. Lost sleep over it. Then Day 6 happened, and any doubts evaporated. Day 6, her mother showed up at my apartment complex. Unannounced. Just standing in my door when I opened it after hearing the knock, arms crossed, designer handbag over her shoulder, face set in this expression like she was there to conduct a performance review. "We need to discuss how you're going to fix this situation," she said. Not asked. Told. Like it was already decided, and I just needed to be informed. "There's nothing to fix," I said. "Your daughter and I aren't together anymore. Because you threw a tantrum? Over some constructive feedback? She was trying to help you make a better choice. That's what loving partners do. They help each other improve." She called a $12,000 ring cheap and embarrassing. So it looked like it came from a mall kiosk. That it said everything about how I see her. That's not constructive anything. The ring was substandard. For someone in our family. for what this occasion represents. She actually looked at me like I was slow. Do you have any idea what my husband spent on my engagement ring? In $1989. I genuinely, sincerely don't care. $32,000. Because he understood what a woman of my background deserves. What a family like ours expects. That ring was supposed to become part of our family's legacy. Something to pass down. Something my granddaughters would wear someday. And you destroyed that possibility because your ego couldn't handle some honest feedback. So this isn't about her being happy with the ring. It's about you being able to show it off at family functions. It's about you having a prop for the legacy you're building in your head. Her face went red. Actually red, blotchy. You're going to regret how you've behaved. I know people in this community. I know what you do for work. You think contractors don't talk to each other? You think people don't remember who's difficult? Who embarrassed their daughter publicly? I couldn't help it. I laughed. Actually laughed in her face. Ma'am, I'm union. I've got more job security than a tenured professor. Your country club friends don't hire union electricians anyway. You people use non-union crews because they're cheaper. Please leave my property. She left, but not before telling me I destroyed her daughter's happiness and that I should enjoy my little toy while I can because karma is coming. Day 7 was quieter but weirder. My ex's younger brother texted me out of nowhere. He's 24, still figuring his life out, but he'd always seemed like a decent kid. We used to play video games together when I was over for family dinners. His message was short. Hey man, not trying to get involved, but you should know my sister's been telling everyone you were controlling during the relationship, and that's actually why she ended things. Just thought you should know what's being said. I thanked him for the heads up. Asked if he believed it. He sent back, nah, I was there for 4 years. You weren't controlling. You were just the only one who ever told her no about anything. That's not the same thing. Then, for what it's worth, the bike looks sick. Always wanted a Harley. At least one person in that family has some perspective. Day 8. Today, I discovered exactly how far the story has mutated. A coworker asked me at lunch, completely seriously, if it was true that I made my girlfriend sell her engagement ring so I could buy a motorcycle. That's the version circulating now. That she had the ring, that I somehow forced her to sell it against her will, pocketed the money, and bought myself a toy with her property. I showed him the actual text messages, the original chain, her words, her timestamps, my single-word response. His reaction, bro, that's actually insane. She really said that about 12 grand worth of ring. Word for word. Called it cheap. Said she was embarrassed. Told me to keep it. He shared the screenshots with a couple other guys on the crew. By end of day, the consensus from everyone who saw them was clear. I dodged something bad. One of the senior guys, married 32 years, pulled me aside and said my wife's ring cost $800 in 1992. She still wears it every single day. Never once complained. The ring don't mean nothing if the person's wrong. That helped more than I expected. What didn't help? Learning my ex has started a whole revisionist history campaign. We were basically engaged for years, and I kept stringing her along before finally proposing with the cheapest thing he could find just to shut me up. 4 years of relationship reduced to me being commitment-phobic and cheap. Everything real we built together erased and replaced with this story where she's the victim of my inadequacy. I'm not engaging with it directly. Refused to get into some public he said she said drama on social media. But I did one thing. Made my ring purchase receipt my phone wallpaper for a week. Every time someone asked about the situation, I'd show them my lock screen. $12,400. Cheap, according to her family. Petty? Absolutely. Satisfying? You have no idea. Update 2, day 16. Final update, because I think this situation has finally burned itself out and I need to move on mentally. Day 11. Her sister sent me a Venmo request. I'm not kidding. A Venmo request for $200 with a note for the bridal magazines and planning materials we already purchased. You owe us. I declined the request and blocked her. But honestly, the audacity was almost impressive. They'd been planning a wedding that was never officially scheduled, buying magazines and supplies before I'd even proposed, and somehow that was my financial responsibility. Day 13, the real confrontation happened. My ex showed up at my apartment. First time seeing her face to face since the night I proposed. She looked exhausted, like she hadn't slept properly in a week. "Can we talk?" she asked. "Just talk." Inside, against my better judgment, I let her in. She sat on the couch, the same spot where we'd watched hundreds of movies together over 4 years. Strange how familiar someone can look and feel like a complete stranger at the same time. "I've had time to think," she said slowly, "and I realize I handled things badly. I shouldn't have texted you that way. I should have talked to you in person, calmly, explained how I was feeling. Okay, but you have to understand where I was coming from. My whole family was so excited. My mom had already told literally everyone about the engagement. Her book club, her tennis friends, our extended family. And then I show them the ring, and my sister makes this face like she's trying not to react. My mom gets quiet in that way she does when she's disappointed. And I panicked. It was humiliating. I felt humiliated in front of my own family. So you humiliated me instead." "I didn't. That wasn't what I was trying to do. You called it cheap. You said it embarrassed you. You told me it showed I didn't value you. You told me to keep it, like it was worthless." Which specific part of that wasn't supposed to be humiliating? She started crying. Not dramatic, performative crying, just quiet tears tracking down her face. I was upset, and my mom was in my ear telling me I deserve better, that you clearly didn't take this seriously if that's what you bought. Your mother's opinion of my proposal was never supposed to matter. Or it wasn't, until you made it matter more than my feelings. I know that now, okay? I messed up, but you didn't have to take it this far. Buying a motorcycle with the ring money? Sending me screenshots? That was deliberately cruel. That was designed to hurt me. I sat there for a long moment, genuinely considering how to respond. You want to know what felt cruel to me? Planning this proposal for 18 months. Saving every extra dollar from every overtime shift. Spending 3 months researching diamonds until I knew more about clarity ratings than electrical codes. Being so nervous and excited to give you something beautiful that I couldn't sleep the night before. And then finding out that wasn't good enough. That it embarrassed you. That I embarrassed you. She wiped her eyes. "That's not what I meant. It's exactly what you meant. You just didn't think there'd be any consequences for saying it. So we're just done for years together, and we're finished because I said something stupid about a piece of jewelry. We're done because you showed me exactly who you are when things don't meet your expectations. And honestly, I'm grateful I found out now. Before a wedding, before a mortgage, before kids, before I spent the rest of my life trying to meet standards your family sets that I'll never reach." She left after that. Didn't yell. Didn't threaten. Just picked up her purse and walked out. Day 16, today, her mother made one final play. An email. 2,000 words of grievances, accusations, and demands. About how I derailed her daughter's entire future and destroyed what should have been a beautiful joining of families. She actually used the phrase, joining of families, like we were medieval nobility arranging a treaty. The email concluded with a demand that I compensate the family for emotional damages and financial losses. She wanted $4,000 for wedding preparations already underway, venue deposits, catering consultations, dress alterations, all supposedly paid before I'd officially proposed. I forwarded the email to my lawyer buddy. His response, "This is genuinely hilarious. Completely unenforceable. Not how any of this works legally, and honestly reads like someone who's never been told no in her entire life. Ignore it." So I did. Blocked her email, her phone number, all of it. Done. 3 weeks since the proposal. The chaos has mostly subsided. Found out through the grapevine that my ex moved in with her sister temporarily. Apparently her relationship with her mother has gotten complicated since I stopped being the target of everyone's anger, and they had to start looking at each other. The brother still follows me on Instagram. Liked a photo I posted of a street glide parked at a scenic overlook last weekend. As for me, I'm okay. Some days better than others. The motorcycle is everything I dreamed it would be for 13 years. Took it on a long ride last Saturday. 3 hours, no destination, just roads and wind and silence in my helmet. First time I'd felt genuinely peaceful since this whole mess started. People keep asking if I regret how I handled it. If I was too harsh, too petty, too quick to burn everything down. And honestly, some nights, lying in bed alone in an apartment that still has gaps where her stuff used to be, I wonder. For years is a long time. Not everything was bad. A lot was good. But then I remember that text. Keep the ring. I'm not wearing something so cheap. $12,000. 18 months of saving. Countless hours of research and planning and nervous anticipation. And it embarrassed her. I embarrassed her. Not good enough for her family's expectations. That's not love. That's a transaction I failed to complete correctly. So yeah, I bought a motorcycle I've wanted since I was a teenager. An apartment that's too quiet. And a pretty clear understanding of what I actually meant to someone I would have spent my life with. Some people call that a loss. Maybe it is. But I'd rather have a hard truth than a comfortable lie any day. Thanks for reading, everyone. Take care of yourselves.